appropriate language. And now for the Honorable Minister of Labor, the Honorable Joe Zeph
Thank,
Hamilton.
thank, thank you, thank you, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, whilst the Honorable Rosedale Ford was speaking, I reflect on a movie I saw some time ago. The name of the movie is The Shadows. It's about a notorious cabal who, in the movie, people refer to them as a band of brigands, some of the most corrupt crooks. And I'm speaking about a movie.
Mr. Speaker.
I'm speaking about a movie, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking about a movie I saw. This cabal of men and women, they're vile, vicious, and venomous. They relish in profanity, but at the same time, Mr. Speaker, they present themselves with pretense. The shadows. That they are the moral barometer of the corporate republic of them. That they are the most upright citizens. Mr. Speaker, what is also noteworthy of this movie is that it had 31 characters acting in the movie. Very noteworthy. And so, Mr. Speaker, the speaker before me, he said this, and I repeat. He said, citizens live their experience. And he's so right. Between 2015 and 2020, the citizens live their experience. Governed by the APNU AFC, and that is the reason why, after one term, they kicked them over to the opposition.
That's right. The worst government, APNU AFC. The worst government.
I want to show the Guyanese people briefly about an experience. This experience is 4 ministers of the government granting to themselves scholarships.
Yes.
In one case, Annette Ferguson, 2.6 million Guyana dollars. I did the calculation.
Yes.
Some of these calculations are US and some are pounds. $2.68 million. Annette Ferguson.
Yes.
Nicolette Henry.
Yes.
$10.4 million.
Former Minister Nicolette.
Tabitha Sarabalo
Former
Haley. And I'm told, Mr. Speaker, I did not know that the honorable member, she find me very cute, I'm told. I'm told that she said that some time ago. $2.68 million.
Yes.
One child of a minister, Simona Brooms, 46.8 million Guyana dollars.
Yes.
Another child of one minister, Simona Brooms, $28.1 million.
Yes.
People live their experience.
And the ordinary people didn't get scholarships.
And so,
Ordinary people didn't
If you look at, and the honorable member just spoke about people being exposed to development and training. If we look at technical vocation education and training, the average cost
Mr. Speaker.
to train a person in a TVET program.
Honorable Chief Whip for the opposition, you're standing on a point of order.
Yes, sir. Comrade Speaker, and your guidance, the honorable member is making reference to former ministers by name who are not in this house to defend.
These are public matters. These are public matters. I'm
We're not
speaking
in the
about.
Honorable Minister Labour,
Yes, sir.
I don't think you have the designation as speaker. So please, he's speaking to me. Allow me to answer. Okay? Yes, Honorable Member Jones.
So
Yeah.
that is the point, Comrade Speaker.
Thank you. Point of order, he's making reference to facts he has, and he has to lay that over. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, just a note. These people live their experience. Mr. Speaker, people live their experience. $28.1 million. The sum total of this is that 4 ministers and their family, they utilize $90.8 million Guyana dollars. In the case of Annette Ferguson, she could have trained 18 persons in TVET. In the case of Nicolette Henry, she could have trained 70 persons in technical vocation education and training. In the case of the honorable member who find me very cute, she could have trained 18 persons. One of the children of the minister, she could have trained 315 persons. And the other child could have trained 189 persons. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Speaker, that 610 Guyanese were denied training by 5 ministers of the previous government. And they come to this noble house with all kinds of pretense that they care about the Guyanese people. People live their experience, Shadows.
That's right.
People live their experience. And this is just one example of people living their experience. So when you come with your pretense and your crocodile tears, the Guyanese people have not forgotten.
Mr. Speaker.
They will never forget you because they
Are you
continue
standing
to
on a point of
recover
order?
from their
But
experience
please,
that you
Honorable
took them
Member
through.
Mr. Hamilton,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker,
we have a
on
member
point of order.
on
On a point of order, Mr. Speaker, I find it distasteful
Okay.
that we have
Honorable
descended
member, honorable
into
member, honorable
referring to
member,
people,
honorable member.
children in this National Assembly. It is unacceptable.
Honorable members again, and you'll get back your time, Honorable Member Mr. Hamilton. Honorable members again, a person standing on a point of order, the relevant standing order, you only have 2 options. If it is gross misinformation and you have the facts, let it be known. But on clarification and you responding, I don't allow it. Good? Honorable members,
Mr. Speaker,
You've been warned. Honorable member, go ahead.
thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, it must inform the nation that the fact that you have this excitement in the opposition benches, it means that they're touched. Because people live their experience as indicated by Honorable Roysdale Ford. You know, and Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Member, Mr.
Honorable
Ford,
member, hold a second. Hold a second. Opposition Chief Whip, I urge you constrain some of your members on your side. I am hearing an honorable member to my left shouting on parliamentary, shouting, not heckling, shouting, okay, on parliamentary words. Good. Go ahead, Honorable
Okay,
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Now that I have gotten the attention of the shadows, during the period 2020, Mr. Speaker, to 2023, the Board of Industrial Training has engaged a total of 11,275 beneficiaries through the implementation of 549 projects across the regions of Guyana. We didn't give ourselves scholarships. We didn't. We didn't give ourselves scholarships, 610 children. 10 children. Through the project implementation, training was done in occupational areas such as welding and fabrication, heavy-duty equipment operation, plumbing, general construction, commercial food preparation, electrical installation, fiber optic technology, tract operation and maintenance, small engine repairs, AC and refrigeration, photovoltaic installation and repairs, and early childhood development, to name a few. 4,283 males and 6,992 females received training between 2020 and 2023 under the People's Progressive Partnership. No minister nor their kids. In this regard, Mr. Speaker, the government has invested $982,108,000 in the lives of Guyanese through skilling, upskilling, and reskilling through TVET programs. Again, we did not. This is your legacy. $90 million that could have trained 610 young people who needed training. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, testimonials. Mr. Speaker, I stand before you today to underscore remarkable impact of the Board of Industrial Training Programs as we deliberate the 2024 budget. The successes of BIT beyond the mere issuance of certificates have left an indelible mark on the lives of the countless individuals, including beneficiaries like Mistress Anita Ganpat, Mr. Noel Haynes, and Ms. Kimberly Kisoon. And these are their testimonies. In recognizing the transformative influence of BIT, it is imperative to acknowledge the fact that the BIT program serves as a motivational pillar, propelling participants towards success beyond the classroom. The comprehensive program, extending beyond technical skills, has equipped beneficiaries with essential life skills such as business approaches, workplace safety, and language proficiency. Mr. Speaker, allow me to share the inspiring story of Mistress Anita Ganpat, a mother at the age of 48. This is her testimony. A trainee from Zeeburg, West Coast, Demerara, who highlighted that I can now stand on my own feet after completing Board of Industrial Training Garment Construction course. She further stated, I am never out of work as a seamstress now. Sometimes I have to start from 2 a.m. in the morning till late at night. The government and BIT has helped me to stand on my own. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Noel Haynes, a retiree from New Amsterdam, Berbice, who reskilled himself in BIT small engine repairs course as he always wanted to learn a trade, he says. His advice to fellow retirees is keep the brains active. Keep the brains active, Mr. Ramjatan. There is always a chance to continue your studies as you're older with less distraction. Mr. Speaker, last but not least, Ms. Kimberly Kissoon, a 26-year-old Lindoner, graduated from BIT Commercial Food Preparation and is now a proud business owner of KK Corner Snacket, located in Christiansburg, Wismar. Mr. Speaker, she has stated, this course has changed my life to make me my own one. Mr. Speaker, as we deliberate the budget allocation, we recognize the pivotal role of the Board of Industrial Training in shaping the destinies of individuals like Ganpat, Ains, and Kissoon. Mr. Speaker, the government I represent prioritize and will continue to support the Board of Industrial Training, and we implore the Assembly at large to do the same. Don't give yourself scholarships. Train the people. Mr. Speaker, this investment, and I heard some fanciful noise to my left. You know, people live their experience. Presently, we have about 30 young people being trained to participate in the oil and gas economy. This is not GAF. You could go there at Port Morant and see it.
Go there and see it.
See it in 3 years. Of course, UPNO AFC, the shadows over there will say, you all take away our program. Every project is theirs.
But they didn't do it.
You know what it is? Every project belongs to them.
But they didn't do it.
They never conceptualize it.
The shadows.
The bridge, it is our project. Whether it's a Demerara Bridge or Linden Bridge, it's our project. And oh, I don't know how you have the temerity to speak about the Demerara Harbor Bridge. When you, UPNO AFC, with all the intellect and capacity, they would have been the first government that erected a three-lane bridge in this world. All the capacity, all the intellect the shadows have. They would have put us in the Guinness Book of World Records. A three-lane bridge. And Honorable Roysdale Forth talked about how qualified and competent they are, but they were bringing a three-lane bridge. Mr. Speaker, permit me to highlight bit key achievements, Mr. Speaker. We have the National Training Project for Youth Empowerment and the training of individuals from other specific population subgroups, and projects such as persons with disabilities, women in trade, and the Basic Need Trust Fund. The implementation of these programs resulted in 4,439 persons being engaged and trained by BIT in 2020. 23. Those are persons who didn't have the skill. You know, we could have done like you all. We could have done like you all, give ourselves scholarships and our sibling scholarships and fail to train the people. Mr. Speaker, 3,230 youths commenced training during 2023 across all administrative regions of Guyana in 50 occupational areas. Also, 235 persons with disabilities also received training through the Board of Industrial Training through this cycle. Additionally, BIT collaborated with the BIT Basic Needs Trust Fund to offer heavy-duty equipment operation to 3,312 beneficiaries. However, Mr. Speaker, moreover, it is befitting for me to highlight that of the individuals trained during 2023, BIT engaged 638 females in 21 non-traditional areas as electrical installation, 150, AC refrigeration technician 15, heavy-duty equipment operator 165. We did not give ourselves scholarship. Mr. Speaker, let me further state that we as a government that keep our promises, in this regard, in keeping with the government manifesto promise to enhance opportunity in TVET through the BIT, TVET programs were implemented in all administrative regions. Additionally, residents of the interland regions and riverine communities, respectively in Region 1, 5, 7, 8, and 9, Region 2, 3, and 6, accounted for 20% of the persons trained during 2020. 881 total beneficiaries, 390 males and 491 females. Mr. Speaker, we continue also to implement the National Apprenticeship Program. During 2023, 233 apprentices were engaged under the National Apprenticeship Program at 3 master plants, namely Gaisuku, Bosai, and the Guyana Industrial Training Center. Mr. Speaker, this is a significant increase because the last full year of the APNU AFC in government, they only allowed for 60 individuals to be engaged in apprenticeship program. 60. Mr. Speaker, yes. Mr. Speaker,
as you're waiting to get your thoughts together, let's have an extension so you can conclude.
Extension? Oh, man.
Mr. Speaker, I thought you said you were giving him back some time, so I wasn't.
I actually gave him back 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Can I therefore ask that the honourable member be given 5 minutes extension to conclude his presence?
Thank you, Honourable Minister. You have 5 minutes to conclude.
Mr. Speaker, occupation, safety, and health. I can report that when we took government, 32 persons died in the last year the APNU AFC was in government. I can report to this assembly that in 2023, that was reduced by some 37% under the People's Progressive Party civic government. We have moved from a complement of officers of 9 under the APNU AFC to today to 30, and we have established offices in all the different regions across Guyana. Mr. Speaker, labor. Mr. Speaker, do you know that it was under the APNU AFC that the average rate of reporting was 64%? Today, under the People's Progressive Party civic government reestablished Ministry of Labor. We have moved from 85%, we have moved from 64 to 85%. And importantly, Mr. Speaker, we have recovered in 3 years, Mr. Speaker, $160 million for employees owed by employers.
Honorable Minister, give me 1 minute. I made a miscalculation on your
I know
time.
you made a miscalculation. I know that. I did not speak for 30 minutes.
Are you speaking to me or your colleagues?
No, I'm speaking to my colleague, Vikram Bharat.
So you actually started at 10:54, and folks, that clock is 2 minutes behind my time. And you had 3 minutes of interruptions. So you should be finished at 10:27 plus 5. At my time, you have now still 12 minutes to go. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, moving on. We have recouped for employees $160 million in 3 years. Just last year, $69 million we have recouped. And you know what? For the shadows, some of these matters were outstanding matters that they left between 2015 to 2020. Mr. Speaker, in 2023, we had a 14% decline in complaints received when compared to 2022. Mr. Speaker, this is evidence that the ministry's policies, programs, and initiatives are efficient, effective, and working. Under the APNU AFC in 2015, when they took up office, the number of complaints to the Labor Department increased by 51%. The first 3 years in office, there were 5,497 complaints. PPP first 3 years in office, we received 3,103 complaints from workers, representing an almost 50% less than what they received. Mr. Speaker, this was because of our proactive measures with numerous awareness sessions, working with our social partners to ensure the workers' rights are protected, a significant manifesto promise. Mr. Speaker, we continue to conduct regular workplace inspections in all of the regions to ensure that companies and businesses comply with the legislative requirement. Mr. Speaker, we continue to conduct regular workplace inspection in all of the regions to ensure that companies and businesses comply with the legislative requirement governing conditions of work with a view of achieving decent employment and working conditions. In 2023, we conducted more than 2,700 inspections. Of significant importance was that through our inspection activities, we were able to file charges against 2 employees for paying their employees below the national minimum wage. Mr. Speaker, the APNU AFC conducted 6,685 inspections in their 5 years. We have, in less than 4 years, conducted 6,872 inspections. Furthermore, our inspection activities in 2023 allowed for us to reach or cover more than 15,000 workers. Mr. Speaker, We are a government that cares about the workers of this country. We did not give ourselves scholarships. On the issue of child labor, Mr. Speaker, the elimination of child labor in all of its forms is imperative and verily a top priority for the Ministry of Labor. In 2023, a series of awareness events were conducted to raise awareness about the detrimental emotional and physical effects that child labor and forced labor can experience. Sensitization sessions were held in more than 14 villages and communities, especially in the hinterland. Mr. Speaker, presently we have one child labor matter in front of the courts. Mr. Speaker, we also continue to play our part in ensuring that there's a stable industrial relations climate in this country, Coretta McDonald. From 2021 to 2023, the Labor Department received a total of 54 requests for conciliation from both employers and trade unions. And Mr. Speaker, the Labor Department, through the Chief Labor Officer, we have been able to have these issues addressed with the parties at the conciliation stage. Mr. Speaker, I must add that when I took office, there were many unresolved matters in the ministry and the Trade Union Recognition Board. Employers were refusing to meet and treat with the union representative during the APNU tenure. Mr. Speaker, needless to say, we were able to bring the parties to the table and we have had those matters resolved. Concluding with collective labor agreements. Mr. Speaker, from 2021 to 2023, we have countersigned 54 collective labor agreements, a strong indication that good faith collective bargaining is alive and well. Mr. Speaker, prosecution. In 2023, we filed 32 matters in the magistrate's court, and we closed 2023 with 11 of those cases being active or ongoing in the courts. They are at different stages in the legal proceedings. We are able to get judgment or settle the other 21 matters. As you're aware, Mr. Speaker, in July 2022, the government opened upon recommendation from the National Tripartite Committee, we raised the national minimum wage via the National Minimum Wage Order in 2022. And of the 11 active cases, 2 are against employers for paying below the minimum wage. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, in keeping with our obligations under the Constitution of the International Labour Organization, we continue to submit reports to the ILO on the application of the respective conventions, both ratified and unratified. And Mr. Speaker, this obligation was neglected by the honorable members on the other side. When they were in government, we had to clear the backlog that they left and saved our country's image on the international plane by not allowing the committee of experts to flag Guyana for not reporting on its obligations. Mr. Speaker, our work will continue in 2024 with a view to further enhancing the quality and effectiveness of our services. In this regard, technological measures to improve accessibility, quality, efficiency, and effectiveness will be pursued. In 2024, a digital complaint and inspection management system with mobile application will be implemented. This system would allow for real-time data which can be used to develop strategies and also to inform policymakers. Importantly, a user-friendly mobile application tailored for the public, workers and employers will be implemented where the users, that is the workers and employers, can easily report labor violation and complaints. The application will offer an intuitive interface with complaint submission, ensuring accessibility and co-op sector. A project started with the Attorney General Chambers, the Ministry of Housing, CHP, and the Ministry of Labor, Co-op Department. What we have started is to ensure that every property owner in every co-op scheme in Guyana, they are issued transport and titles individually. Let me say that again. What you have presently is that in co-op schemes, because leases are en bloc, again they started it, you see. Would never stop, they started it. Mr. Speaker, people have houses that are $100 million, $70 million property that are useless to them and their family presently because they cannot approach a bank to borrow money on that property. That we are bringing to an end with this program of ensuring every citizen who has a property in a co-op scheme, we will ensure that you get your title or your transport that is to empower you so that you can utilize your asset. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, for the Honorable Comrade Ramjatan, in 3 years, 162 no objection letters were issued by the ministry to the CHPA, Ministry of Labor, and as I speak to you, already scores of people, Mr. Ramjatan, they have already collected their transport and leases. Some of these are public matters. Mr. Speaker, in 2024, this number will skyrocket as a result of the action that will be taken by the Ministry of Labor in conjunction with the Ministry of Housing, and to ensure that all persons, as I've said, they are granted their titles and their transport. And Mr. Speaker, as I have said, Mr. Speaker, when I started, that nothing that the shadows they do or say will change the direction of the government and the nation. Upward, 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 upward. You could talk about friends and family. All week last week, I saw hundreds of people collecting their lands. Is that friends and family? Yes, it's our friends and family. Thousands of people receiving gold scholarship. Is that friends and family? Yes, they're friends and family. Mr. Speaker, 600, 200 or 300 persons receiving $600,000 per year for dialysis treatment. Is that friends and family? Yes, they're friends and family. And so, Mr. Speaker, we are not deterred by the baseless accusation. Every year it comes about a budget that is for friends and families. All Guyana, they are our friends and family. That is the reason why we have and we will continue to enact policies. We will stay the course to ensure that our friends and families, they benefit and develop themselves individually and collectively. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And